You're that Russian. Commencing mission.
Nimble, versatile, and lethal. Master Raven's playstyle is unorthodox to say the least, such as intentionally whiffing moves from a distance, and fighting with her back to the opponent. Though she can be played at any range, Raven specializes at space control and ranged keep out. This is complemented by an array of powerful whiff punishers. When the opponent starts to hesitate, her crouch dash is both a great approach and mix-up tool. Up close, she's got fast, safe pokes and a strong counter-hit game. And to top it all off, Raven's damage output is one of the best in the game. Master Raven players are rare, but don't underestimate her. She is easily one of the most powerful characters on the roster. Great at controlling space. Fantastic whiff punishment. Very high damage output with a relatively low execution requirement. Immense wall carry. Solid pokes, complemented by powerful counter-hit baiting tools. Versatile playstyle, can adapt to many situations. A 14-frame while standing launcher for punishing lows and highs. No 15-frame launcher from standing, though she does gain one with her rage drive. Risky lows, so opening the opponent up requires commitment. Highly susceptible to sidestep left when in back turned.
I hope your affairs are in order.
Raven's down forward 1 is 1 frame slower than other generic down forward 1s at 14 frames, but has good range and tracks completely to the left. It only leaves Raven at -1 on block, so you can easily sidestep afterwards. And on hit it's +7, allowing you to do pretty much anything you want. Overall, this is a solid poke and a good initiator for Raven's offense. Down back 2 is Raven's fastest mid at 13 frames, and leaves her in back turned. It's possible to sidewalk right, but this is fairly difficult to do so. There is also a safe natural comboing extension in down back 2-1, but it is high and duckable on block, so make sure to mix it up. 3-3 is a long-range spacing tool, and very useful, since this is a natural comboing, jailing mid-high, which is very rare. This is hard to step since each hit covers stepping to either side. There are extensions in 3-3-4 and 3-3-4 back, but since those have worse risk-reward ratios, and 3-3 is so good just by itself, they're generally not worth using. Raven's Magic 4 counter-hit launcher is 12 frames, making it slightly slower than the generic Magic 4, but considering Raven's huge damage output and wall carry potential, this is still very powerful. At tip range, however, any combo attempts will fail without doing 4-1. However, 4-1 is weak to sidewalk left, though most people would rather block and duck the second hit rather than step the 4. Outside of combos, 4-1 is mainly used as a 12-frame punisher that gives +5 into back turn mix-ups. We'll go into these in more detail later. Back 2-2 is a delayable high-mid natural comboing string. This has great tracking, and provides Raven with a whopping +8 on hit before going into back turned. This is very important as it opens up a lot of back turned options for Raven. If the second hit of this string connects on counter hit, it gives a mini combo with back turned 1-4. The fact that the second hit can be delayed makes counter hit fishing even better, as players will sometimes try to punish the unsafe back 2. There are also third hits in back 2-2-3 and back 2-2-1+2. Back 2-2-3 ends in a mid that knocks down and wall splats on normal hit, and launches on counter hit. Back 2-2-1+2 is a tripping low. Both extensions are unsafe, but can be used every now and then, especially if the opponent is looking to challenge Raven's back turned options from a blocked back 2-2. Forward 2-3 has very impressive range, and on hit, leaves the opponent at negative frames and crouching. This makes it invaluable as a punishment tool. Forward 2 by itself can also be used as a poke because of its range, relative safety on block, and also gives a bit of plus frames on hit. The second hit is delayable for as long as Raven still has her arm stretched out, and will knock down if it connects on counter hit. Though, it won't be a natural combo anymore. Up forward 4 is safe on block, low crushes, knocks down, and wall splats. Despite the animation, up forward 4 is actually a mid. This will catch sidestep right, though will lose to sidestep left quite easily. Up forward 4 has a somewhat hit confirmable knockdown follow-up in up forward 4-4. This is relatively safe due to pushback, but can still be punished heavily by certain characters. Raven herself can get decent frame advantage by punishing with forward 2-3, or even launch punish with her rage drive. Down forward 3 is another anti-pressure move. It is a safe, high crushing kick. On counter hit, it launches for a full combo. It is weak to sidestep right though. Down forward 2 is Raven's go-to standing launcher for punishment. It has an extension in down forward 2-3, which makes down forward 2 safe on block, but it is duckable. When down forward 2 hits crouching opponents, it staggers them. They can hold down to recover grounded, and Raven is left in back turned. Down back 4 is a low that is used to stuff enemy advances and crush their highs. On hit, it gives good frame advantage and puts the opponent in crouch. On counter hit, it knocks down for follow-ups in up forward 3 or down 4. This is best used at max range because of how negative it is on block. Raven herself can launch punish this move with while standing 1. Down 3 is Raven's fast low poke. It has decent range and great tracking as well, though this generally leaves Raven at neutral on hit. At -12 on block, it can't be launch punished by any character. Despite the short range, Back 2 has really good tracking up close. Although the actual attack is somewhat slow to come out, it has a parry window on startup. When triggered, this will reverse with Haze 4. Due to the pushback, this is relatively safe on block, and when it hits, it puts the opponent in an awkward grounded position, setting up for some strong Oki. Back 2 is also a launcher if it hits with a wall to Raven's right. You can then pick up with back 4-4 into a combo. While standing 2 is a fast, safe rising elbow. On normal hit, it staggers the opponent backwards, and on counter hit, it launches for a full combo. This is especially powerful as a counter hit fishing tool when combined with Raven's crouch dash and fully crouched options. We'll examine these in more detail very soon. While standing 1, a launcher faster than 15 frames is rare, and one from crouch is even more rare. This generally shouldn't be used as part of Raven's fully crouched mix-ups though, as it is quite punishable at -14. But for punishing lows and highs, it is very powerful.
Full crouch down forward 3+4 is Raven's spin to win move. It is a big, committal low option out of her full crouch mix-up. It doesn't give a full combo on normal hit, but is much faster and visually less obvious than a snake edge. On normal hit, Raven can choose between Oki or going straight into a teleporting dive kick via fully crouched down forward 3+4, 4. It does launch on counter hit and is, of course, launch punishable on block.
Thank you for that, Croc. Okay, back to it. Raven's crouch dash, which is done with quarter circle forward, or fully crouched down forward, down forward, is a really good tool due to the sheer number of options available from it. By itself, it can close distance quickly and put pressure on the opponent, and with some crouch cancelling, Raven's crouch dash can even chain into itself to cover even longer distances. For example, you can do quarter circle forward up, quarter circle forward up, and so on. Quarter circle forward 1 is a safe mid that tracks slightly to Raven's right, though this can still easily be sidewalked in both directions. This gives frame advantage on hit and launches on counter hit. The beauty of this move is that Raven can transition into Haze stance by doing crouch dash 1, 3+4. This can be really menacing since on hit Raven has so many plus frames to work with. Quarter circle forward 2 is a sweeping low launcher from crouch dash. This can be feigned into a mid with crouch dash 2, 1, or into back turned with crouch dash 2, back. A very scary tool when used correctly. Don't be predictable though, as on block this can be launched punished by the majority of the cast. Quarter circle forward 3 is one of Raven's best combo enders with its extension quarter circle forward 3-4. Despite it being safe and giving frame advantage on hit, there are better moves to use outside of combos. Quarter circle forward 4 is a really good spacing tool that recovers in back turned and is very hard to whiff punish. One of Master Raven's key strategies is to intentionally whiff moves just outside of block range. You can then punish their attempt to punish with a launcher. On block though, it is easily punishable at -14. Quarter circle forward 1+2 is a safe double mid that knocks down and wall splats. This might as well be a homing move due to how well it tracks at close range. It's a bit slow but has a parry window at the beginning, and again reverses with Haze 4. Quarter circle forward 3+4 is the same as Raven's while standing 3+4, but done from a crouch dash. This isn't safe on block, but the pushback makes it weird to punish. For example, Raven's own 4-1 whiffs, so she's forced to punish with down back 2-1 instead. It also has really good tracking, and when it hits, it knocks them down in a position that gives some powerful okizeme. From a crouch dash, Raven can also access her fully crouched moves by doing down, hold down forward, or down, down forward neutral for while standing moves. This not only grants her access to her amazing fully crouched moves, which also includes another crouch dash in the form of fully crouched down forward, but also allows her to extend the effective range of some powerful moves such as while standing 2 and fully crouched down forward 3+4 by holding down, down forward for a bit longer before pressing a button. There is a slight delay before you can input fully crouched down forward 3+4 from a down, down forward motion, which can be circumvented by buffering a fully crouched down forward during the down hold down forward animation. Raven's crouch dash also has high crush frames, and will sometimes even go under some mids. While not reliable because of the tight window, it does allow Raven to pull off some crazy stuff. For example, against Lily's 1-2 string, Raven can do an option select down, down forward. The crouch dash goes under the 4 extension, low parries the 3, and puts Raven in fully crouched up close for some mind games if Lily chooses not to do any of the extensions. Finally, Raven can buffer in diagonal input moves immediately after a crouch dash, though this doesn't apply to the fully crouched down forward version. This again improves the range of some moves like quarter circle forward down back 4 for an advancing high crushing low, or quarter circle forward down forward 1+4 for an advancing command throw. Speaking of command throws, half circle back forward 1+2 is Raven's 1+2 command throw. This does really high damage and can be buffered off of things like a down forward 1 on hit. Down forward 1+4 is a 1 break and gives some really strong okizeme. On the Forgotten Realms stage, it also breaks floors for a full combo. Fully Crouched 3 is basically a less threatening, less rewarding, but also less punishable than Fully Crouched down forward 3+4, particularly from max range. This is a solid low poke from Fully Crouched, with its long range and surprisingly good tracking. though it does leave Raven at negative frames, even on hit. As a bonus, this also hits grounded.
As to talk about Raven's back turn stance, let's start by listing the moves that automatically transition into it. First we have back 3+4, which is the manual entry. Then we have 4-1, down back 2, down forward 2, quarter circle forward 4, 3-4, up back 3, up 3, forward 3 back, 3-3-4 back, back 4, 4, back 4, back 4, back 1+2, 2, quarter circle forward 2, back, Haze 3, Haze 4, but only on block or with, which includes the reversal versions, back turned 2, back turned back 2, back turned back 3, back turned 3, 4, 4, back turn forward 3, back, back turned forward 1, on frontal hit only, back turned forward 4, and finally back turned forward 3+4. Entering Raven's back turn stance is a gamble, as the options you have are often riskier but also often more rewarding. The goal is to go into back turned with as much frame advantage as possible. Remember that getting the opponent to hesitate is also a form of frame advantage, as doing so widens Raven's options. Now let's get to the actual moves. Back turn 1-4 is Raven's fastest attack from back turn, and is mostly used to discourage opponents from pressing buttons when Raven goes into this stance. For example, from down back 2 on block, back turn 1-4 will counter hit knock down anything slower than a jab. But look out for those fast magic falls. It is safe on block, but both hit are highs, and can be sidewalk right. Another use for back turn 1-4 is as a mini combo after the second hit of back 2-2 and back turn 2 if they connect on counter hit. Back turn 2 is a 10 frame safe high. It gives huge frame advantage on normal hit and a mini combo on counter hit, but is very linear. It has extensions in back turn 2-1, a jailing high string that can recover in back turn with the back turn 2-1 back, and back turn 2-2, a high mid string, which are both natural combos and safe on block, making them good pokes. Back turn 3 is slow, unsafe on block, easily duckable, and steppable to the right. Even with all the extensions, you don't get much out of back turn 3. Back turn 3-4-4 has potential, but you are better off using other moves. Back turn 4 is a generic high kick that knocks down and wall splat. Also, it is safe on block. Back turned 1+2 is a low hitting mid with a built-in reversal window at the start, which reverses with Haze 2. It is 15 frame fast and is sometimes guaranteed when ending combos with 3-4, but it can be stepped to the left and is unsafe on block. Back turn 3+4 is Raven's infamous double lift kicks that are the key behind their huge combo damage. Not to be used outside of combos though, because it is massively punishable. Back turned forward 1 is a side switching attack throw that leaves both characters with their backs to each other. This attack throw only happens during a frontal hit and is best used after back 2-2 on hit, as it cannot be contested. Back turned forward 2 is vulnerable to sidewalk. By itself, it is a safe mid that gives frame advantage on hit. Back turned forward 2-3 is a safe string that is natural on counter hit and knocks down opponents in a face down, feet away position. Back turned forward 2-4 is also a safe natural combo string, but on normal hit 2 here, though it is duckable if the first hit is blocked. Back turned forward 2, 4, 2 is Raven's primary screw move from this stance, and back turn forward 2, 4 up is another teleport gimmick. Back turned forward 3 is Raven's fastest mid from this stance. It has good range, tracks completely to Raven's left, and is a knee. It is safe on block, gives some frame advantage on hit, though it can be stepped to the left. It knocks down on counter hit, which can be followed up with a dashing rage drive for a combo. Back turn forward 3 also has the option to stay in the stance with back turned forward 3 back, though there is little reason to go with this option because it gives worse frames after the transition. It becomes unsafe on block, neutral on hit, and normal rage drive combo on counter hit. Back turned forward 4, 3 is Raven's go-to low option in this stance and is a screw attack in combos. It gives good frames on hit, but is punishable on block. The special thing about this move is that the first hit cannot be low parried, though when the first hit is blocked, the second hit can be ducked. Also, the first hit alone leaves Raven back turned and can be stepped to the left. Back turned forward 1+2 is a side switching parry that knocks down when triggered, giving Raven good Oki options. Back turned forward 3+4 is a linear knockdown mid that leaves Raven back turned. Back turned forward 3+4 forward phases through the opponent for a cross-up. Back turned down 3 is a big sweep. It is very slow but has good range and tracking. It doesn't launch from tip range though. Back turned back 2 is vulnerable to sidestep left but has a low hitbox and follow-ups. Back turned back 2 3 is a variation of Raven's back turn 3+4 and should also only be used in combos. Back turned back 2 4 is a natural combo string that discourages opponents from using fast highs when Raven goes into the stance from a blocked string. Watch out for those magic 4s though. Back turned back 3 is a high homing move that recovers back turned and is also a screw in combos. It gives good frame advantage on block and knocks downs on hit. Back turned forward 3 looks like a homing move, but its tracking is range dependent. It crushes highs and even some mids, knocks downs and wall splat on hit, but is really slow. Back turned forward 3+4 is a launching slide. It is very slow and easily launchable on block, but it can catch opponents off guard when used sparingly. Depending on range, Raven will either stay in front or cross under the opponent, changing the follow-up combo in the process. Back turned forward is a naked teleport cross-up and should only be used as a movement tool when you are sure you cannot be punished for it. When you misread the situation and end up back turned with frame disadvantage, it is better to play it safe. Turn around with back 3+4 and block, or do a retreating crouch guard with down back. There is also the option of using fast crushing attacks like down 4 or back 2 against the enemy's jab retaliation. Raven can also use her parry while back turned. In fringe situations, she can get out by doing back turned forward to phase through the opponent, but this option can easily be punished. Raven's non-attack parries are most often used when at a frame disadvantage, such as ending back turned after a block 4-1 punish attempt. These work on every attack, except Rage Art. Raven teleports away from the enemy when triggered. It teleports her behind the opponent when triggered while in back turned. However, unlike other parries, the enemy is free to move and can even punish Raven for parrying an attack if they get a correct read. It is also worth mentioning that Raven recovers fully crouched after a successful parry. 1+2 is a 15 frame mid that works as a knockdown punisher and is completely safe on block. It has a parry window that parries highs and mids at the beginning, which turns into Haze 2 when triggered. The bad news is that it is linear, but it still has a great range. At the wall, where backdashing is an option for the opponent, 1+2 becomes a beastly 15 frame mid that can be used for punishment and gives a guaranteed down back 4 on hit. Forward 3 is a classic Raven whiff punisher. Its range can be extended by holding the second forward a bit. This move is a knee and can easily lead to around 65% of damage depending on the distance to the wall. You can also use this to punish the enemy's movement, though this is very risky and requires hard reads. Outside of those situations, this is a very punishable move. Forward 4 might as well be a homing move for how good it tracks. It has extendable range by holding the second forward like for forward 3, and is only jab punishable. The best thing about it is that it hits really low to the ground, so can be used as a floater into a combo, as well as a way to deal with those pesky low stance characters. Back +1 is one of Raven's few viable plus on block moves, and it leaves the opponent crouching too. It knocks downs into guaranteed damage on counter hit, floor breaks in combos, and is a elbow. An aspect of this move that is often overlooked is its deceptive range when Raven takes a step forward before unleashing the actual attack. It is, however, very linear, so don't just randomly throw this out. Raven's down forward 4 string is one that requires some technical knowledge and some hard reads. The first hit alone is a neutral hit launcher against crouchers, and is fairly easy to set up, but can be sidewalked both ways, and is launch punishable on block. The second hit will put the opponent to crouch on normal hit, and will counter hit knockdown opponents that attempt to punish the first hit, making the third hit guaranteed. But it is also launch punishable if blocked. The third hit can be floated if the second hit is blocked, but is safe on block itself. There is also another variation in down forward 4 up, but is also floatable if the second hit is blocked. Up forward 3+4 is one of Raven's better strings. The first hit is a low crushing neutral hit launcher, which often goes unpunished because of the second hit, which is an uninterruptible low counter hit launcher. The third hit is Raven's max damage wall combo ender, but its use is limited to that. There is also another variation to Raven's up forward 3+4 string, which is the up forward 3+4 forward 4 series, but it is even riskier. While 3-4 can be used as a long-range whiff punisher akin to forward 3, it is riskier when used as such, as it can be baited and punished for its linearity and bad frames on block. The primary use of this string is as a spiking combo ender for back-turned Oki. You can also teleport through the opponent by holding forward. 4-3 alone is a decent alternative to down forward 2 as a whiff punisher, and it doesn't lead into back turn transition. It is unsafe on block, but with delayable extensions to protect it. But these extensions are a bit underwhelming. 4-3-1 is a low, 4-3-3 is a high that causes a screw state after 4-3 when delayed. 4-3-4 is a rather slow mid. Haze, or Haz, is a gimmicky stance, but it does have its uses. For one, it crushes highs and moves Raven's hurtbox backward a bit at the same time, causing certain strings to whiff. For example, A manual Haze entry makes Leo's infamous back 1-4 whiff, when used immediately after the back 1 on block. Haze 1 is a neutral hit launcher that can also get launched on block. The thing is, Haze 1 has a low hitbox, and add to that the full high crush window of Haze itself, and you are pretty much immune to high retaliation. Haze 2 is an unblockable. It is slow and easily steppable, but it does have deceptive range. Simply backdashing isn't enough to evade it, because Raven's sword extends its range. And when used from a fast, close-range Haze transition, for example 1-2, 3+4, it can sometimes catch opponents off guard. Haze 3 is a high crushing low that leaves Raven back-turned. It gives frame advantage on normal hits and launches on counter hit. Haze 4 is a really cool hit the dust, dunk! Though it is relatively safer compared to the other Haze options, it is easily steppable. Haze 1+2 is a wall splatting mid with decent range and speed. Haze forward goes into crouch dash. Haze up can be used as to adjust combo length, or if you have suicidal thoughts, you can use it inside strings, but its main use is as a dance move that you can combine with back 3+4 for a maximum sex appeal. Other than manually entering Haze, the only other ways to access it are 1-2, 3+4 and quarter circle forward 1, 3+4, with quarter circle forward 1 on hit being the best transition into Haze.
Can you handle this? Take that. Yeah. Go. Die. Mission complete.
Raven's Rage Drive comes in two forms. Forward +3+4. 2 is the most used one, as it is a neutral hit launcher into an instant screw. Forward +3+4, down +2 ends in a floor breaking slam. However, the distance created makes the follow-up attacks post floor break difficult. Thus, it is best used when already at the wall. Forward +3+4 by itself is a 2-hit knockdown attack that starts with an unparryable knee. On block, the second hit does not trigger, but gives frame advantage and some slight pushback. Raven's Rage Art is just your standard damaging rage dump, with the slight benefit of having a very low hitbox. For example, it can connect off counter hit down back 3 and counter hit down back 4.
Can you handle this? Take that.
Master Raven is one of the more versatile characters on the roster. She can be played in many different ways, but excels at a distance with her incredible long-range keep out and whiff punishment tools. That being said, a lot of these range tools are either straight up punishable or give up momentum even on hit. These same moves, however, are usually better on whiff than on block, so proper movement is key to mastering Raven. She also has a decent and, again, unorthodox close mid-range game, with strong counter hit tools and solid pokes. though she lacks some of the generic tools that other characters have, such as a generic down forward 1, down 4, 15 frame launcher, and so on. Her back-turn stance, though highly linear, can make or break Raven's game, depending on how it's used. Where Raven really shines is her damage, be it keeping the enemy away and baiting whiffs, or fishing for those counter hits up close. Raven's damage output is way above average, and coupled with her strong wall carry, her combos are to be feared. Why then isn't she a more popular character if she has both versatility and damage? Basically, she's a bit weird. Her move list simply forces you to view Tekken a little differently. The reward is well worth it though, since you get that rarest of combinations, a character that is powerful, relatively straightforward, and largely unfamiliar to many players. That and she just kicks ass. Sidestep left. In general, you'll want to move to the left against Raven, and stepping or walking left does wonders against back-turned. It's important not to overdo it with the stepping from a distance though, as she has a lot of ranged moves that can stuff you during your sidestep.
Approach with caution. Randomly sticking out your limbs isn't good against one as well versed in whiff punishing as Raven. On the flip side, if you see that the Raven player is a bit trigger happy, then maybe you can pretend to dash in and bait out that forward 3. Overall, she is strongest at range, but as long as you don't whiff something big, you should be fine there too. Also, watch out for counter hit 4 and counter hit wall standing 2 when up close.
Adapt quickly. Watch out for when Raven transitions into back-turned. Hop kick if you notice a lot of back-turn down 4s. And remember to duck those 4-1s. 4-1 is usually used as a punisher, and there isn't much you can do but not use -12 moves. But if the Raven player is spamming this, know that you can duck the second hit if you block the first.
Any back turn transition is usually plus frames on hit, but is negative on block. Know your options against this. Also, majority of Raven's back-turn moves are vulnerable to sidestep left.
Back-turned 1-4. Both hits are high.
Back-turned forward 4-3. The low cannot be parried. Block the low, duck the high, and then you can punish.
It is almost impossible to react to crouch dash moves, especially in an Okizeme or frame disadvantage scenario. But you can often predict what move to expect based on the range. If done from afar, then expect keep out moves like crouch dash 4, fully crouch down 3, or crouch dash down back 4. The real threat from a mid-range crouch dash is usually counter hit while standing 2, but also look out for a crouch dash down forward 1+4 throw, especially on the stage with breakable floors. If you notice Raven crouch before doing a crouch dash, or do 2 crouch dashes in a row, then look out for fully crouched down forward 3+4.
Quarter circle forward 2 can be launch punished on block, but beware of the cancel into the mid.
Quarter circle forward 4. This is hard to punish on whiff, but doable by some characters, especially if you're Noctis.
This combo section is going to be a bit different from the ones you are used to see on the channel, and this time should become the reference for future episodes, aside probable interface modifications. First, I'll show you her bread and butter combos, which won't be the most damaging, but the most consistent, and will work on all hitboxes. In worst case, I'll explain you what to change for specific hitboxes. I'll also point out the tricky parts of combos and give you tips for them. Then, I'll show you alternatives that you can use either to gain more damage, wall carry, or a better Okizeme. Second, we will see her wall combos, and third, her mini combos. As a general advice, if you want to main master Raven, you definitely want to map 3+4 to a button, as you will use it a lot, especially in our combos. Now let us start with our main bread and butter combo that works after down forward 4, forward forward 3, wall standing 1, counter hit wall standing 2, haze 1, back turned 3+4, up forward neutral +4, 4, 3, back turned up forward 4, but also a low parry, counter hit quarter circle forward 1, back turned forward forward 3+4 in the case that Raven doesn't cross under the opponent, and if you have successfully floated the opponent. This combo is a fast forward forward 3, down forward 2, 3 as to screw, dash, back 3+4, 3+4, a deep forward forward 3, forward 2, 3. The trickiest part of the combo is the dash to back 3+4 to back turn 3+4, which looks hard at first, but with an hour of practice can be mastered, as the recovery after down forward 2, 3 is really fast. So if you dash right after it, you should have an easy time inputting the rest. For the low parry, counter hit quarter circle forward 1 and back turn forward forward 3+4 in the case that Raven doesn't cross. Replace the forward forward 3 with a forward forward 4. Note that this won't change the damage output, as forward forward 3 and forward forward 4 in this case have the same damage. In the case that you have buffered a haze transition after counter hit quarter circle forward 1, press up and then continue with the rest of the combo. Note that you won't be able to combo bears, jack and gigas with back turned forward 3+4 in the case that Raven doesn't cross, since either the forward 4 or the down forward 2-3 will whiff. And finally, for the float combo, your float starter will replace the forward 3. Let us now see our second bread and butter combo that can be initiated with down forward 2, quarter circle forward 4, 3-4, and a counter hit Haze 3. For this combo, do back 2, 3, back 2, 4, 2 as to initiate the screw, forward 3, and an instant forward 4. Make sure to do a deep forward 3 as for it to connect, and practice will be needed as to master the instant forward 4, though it is immensely easier than doing an instant war running 2. For counter hit Haze 3 against bears, jack and gigas, replace the back turned back 2, 3 with a back turned 3+4. You can also replace the ending forward 4 with a forward 2-3 then. Let us have a look at a third bread and butter combo now, which can come off of quarter circle forward 2, counter hit fully crouched down forward 3+4, and counter hit up forward 3+4, 4. As for this combo, do a fast forward 4, 4-1, forward 4-3 as to screw, dash 3-4. The parts that can cause problem being the fast forward 4 in the beginning, as for that nothing more than practice is needed, and the dash to 3-4. I advise to do like if you were gonna do a deep forward 3. So hold the second forward a bit and then press the 3-4 almost simultaneously. This will cancel the forward 3 into the 3-4. For counter hit up forward 3+4, 4 against bears, jack and gigas, replace the 4-1 with a down back 2. It is time to see our fourth bread and butter, which works after counter hit 4 and counter hit back 2, 2, 3. The combo is down back 2, 3, forward 3, 2, 4 as to screw, run in 3, 4. The hard parts being the run in to the 3, 4. Again, hold the second forward of your run in half a second and then press the 3, 4 almost simultaneously. Down back 2 will whiff on bears. As for them, make sure to always do counter hit 4-1, and here is its combo. Do 2, 2, forward 2, 4, 2 as to screw, a deep forward 3 to an instant forward 4. Make sure to do a slightly longer forward 3, and again, you will need to practice your instant forward 4. Time to discover now her combo after counter hit down forward 3. Do forward 3 to another forward 3, 1, back 2, 4, 2 as to initiate the screw, and finish with a quarter circle forward 3, 4 as to make them drink the salted water. As you probably have understood by now, knowing how to do instant dashing moves is a must as to play Master Raven at her full potential. Now let us have a look at her combo that works after up forward 3+4 and counter hit up forward 3. Do back 4 as to screw, dash 3+4, forward 3, forward 2, 3. Dashing after the back 4 can sometimes be tricky. So here's a visual tip. Press the forward right when you see Raven's rotation coming to an end. Let us now take interest in her combo after a back turned forward 3+4 if Raven crosses under the opponent. Do 3+4, sidestep left 1, back 2, 4, 2 as to screw, and finish with 3, 4. I have nothing to add about this combo, so let's jump straight ahead to her Rage Drive combo. Do forward 4, 1, forward 3, 4, 1, and hand it with a back 2, 4. This combo can be hard at first, since it is quite different from the others, but if you take a good session as to practice this one alone, you will have no problem for it after, Sadly, except to tell you to practice your instant dashing moves, I have no tips here. But note that against bears, the last hit will whiff. But who cares at this point? We are finally arriving at a last bread and butter, which can be used as a slide punish, but also after a counter hit get up 3. Do forward 4, 1, back 2, 4, 2 as to screw, and finish with a quarter circle forward 3, 4. The forward 4 in the beginning is quite peculiar, since you will need to make it fast enough as to catch the opponent, but also to make it deep enough as for the jab to connect after, so you will need to do a bit of alchemy as to get this one right. For the bears, do their version of the combo number 3, which is a forward 4, down back 2, forward 4, 3 as to screw, dash 3, 4. As for her alternatives, as to gain more damage, ending your combos with a successful quarter circle forward 3, 4 is the best, though it will only work after a screw or a back turned 3+4, and even then it is very inconsistent. Master Raven wall carry being great overall, you will just need to end your combo with a forward 3, forward 4 as to get the maximum out of it. And as to get the best Oki, end your combo with a forward 2, 3, or stop at the last forward 3. Do note that you won't be able to do these alternatives with combos that ends with a 3, 4. Let us now move on to our wall combos. Her most damaging one being up forward 3+4, 4, 2. You can also do back +1 to a guaranteed down 3. Note that back +1 will spike on the Forgotten Realm stage. Her easiest wall combo is 1, 2, 1+2. If you screw the opponent near the wall, then go into back turned and do back turn 3+4 to the wall combo of your choice. And finally, as for mini combos, after a back turn 1+2, do a down 4. After a counter hit back turn 2, do 1, 4. This also works after counter hit back 2, 2. After counter hit back +1, do up forward 3. Same after a counter hit back turn forward 3. And if you have rage, after counter hit back turn forward 3, you can get in a rage drive to a full combo. As to make it easier to connect the rage drive, like if you're gonna do a forward 3 or forward 4, but instead press 3+4. And so it is over for today. See you next time, guys!
A crouch dash. Crouch dash.
You can use it inside strings, but it's main use.
At tip range, however, any combo attempts, making it slightly slower than the
For maximum sex appeal.